Okay. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Okay, so good afternoon or evening. Okay, so for today's lecture, we are going to look at a new chapter, okay, which is on chapter 6 on circulatory system. So I hope that you have already downloaded the lecture notes, okay, and also maybe some of you have already watched the pre-recorded video of this chapter, okay, in the acid biology YouTube channel. So it is advisable for you to watch, okay, before the class, so that it is easier for you to understand during our lecture. Okay, so this is the lecture note. So let us go through the basically the overview of this chapter. This chapter is circulatory system. Okay, dulu dipanggil sebagai cardiovascular. Sama je lah kan. So circulatory system and also known as cardiovascular. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to look at basically the role of circulatory system in human and also in other organisms. Okay, so as you can see here, you have a diagram that showing you in the circulatory system, it involves the heart. Okay, the heart that has 4 chambers that will pump blood through the vascular system throughout the body. Okay, so in this chapter also we are going to look at blood vessels. Okay, artery, veins, capillaries. Okay, the difference between these 3 blood vessels in terms of its function and also structure. Okay, and then in the beginning of this chapter, before we go into the function of the heart and also the circulatory system in human, we are going to look at the circulatory system in different organisms. Okay, so simple organism such as amoeba, which is one cell organism, unicellular. They don't have any heart. Okay, they don't have any blood vessels. So for this animal, we are going to look at what is the mechanism of circulation, okay, of exchange of substance such as respiratory gases for this animal. Okay, and also for animal that does not have any heart, such as hydra. Okay, such as we are going to look at the circulatory system in earthworm, for example. Okay, so for different animals, for in fish. Okay, and then at the end of this chapter we are going to look at the role of lymphatic system. Okay, so lymphatic system, which involve the lymphatic capillaries, which carries lymph, okay, in the lymphatic blood vessels. Okay, all right, so these are the learning objectives, okay, of this lecture, of this chapter. So by the end of this chapter, students should be able to differentiate organism with circulatory system. So we have open circulatory system and closed circulatory system, and then you are going to look at the difference between these two circulatory system. Why do we call it as open? Why do we call it as closed circulatory system? And also animals that have no circulatory system. Okay, and then for the closed circulatory system, it involves these two. Okay, these two mode of blood circulation. Either it is single or double blood circulation. Okay, single or double circulation of blood. And then next, explain the structure and function of heart and also blood vessels. Ada 3, okay, artery, blood capillaries, and also veins. Okay, and then describe the physiology of the heart and blood circulation. Next, explain normal and abnormal ECG. Describe the factors affecting heartbeat. And then describe diseases related to blood vessels. Describe how blood pressure and also blood velocity affects the structure and arrangement of blood vessels. So this one we are going to look at what is pulse, how pulse is generated, okay, pulse rate. And then next, discuss the causes and symptom of lymphoma and also lymphedema. So this one is the last subtopic of this chapter, which is related to the lymphatic system. Okay, so the introduction. So this is the definition for circulatory system, okay, which is okay, it is the system that circulates blood, okay, and also lymph throughout the body. Okay, so circulate blood, it is known as cardiovascular system. So that's why we changed to circulatory system, because it involves also the circulation of lymph, okay, lymph or lymphatic system throughout the body. Okay, so circulation of blood involves the heart, so that's why ada term cardio kat situ, cardiovascular, blood vessels. Okay, so cardiovascular system, so in Greek the word cardia means heart, okay, vas means vessels. Okay, so major components are the heart, which act as a pump, okay, to pump blood, and then the blood itself, which is a medium of transport to transport what such as respiratory gases, oxygen and also carbon dioxide, nutrients, wastes. Okay, so the blood function as the medium for transporting, okay, all these substances. And then lastly, you have in this system, it has, in the cardiovascular system, it involves the blood vessels, okay, artery, blood capillaries and also veins, which act as a system of tubes, and also it carries blood, okay, that carries blood. Okay, so function of the circulatory system. Okay, so it has several functions. So the first one is to transport nutrients, okay, transport nutrients from the digestive system and also storage depots to each cells, okay, transport nutrient from the digestive system and also storage depots to each cell. Example of storage depots such as liver, okay, so liver that stores glycogen. So the glycogen will be broken down into glucose to transport glucose to cell body, so that the cell body can use as fuel for cellular respiration, for example. Okay, and then it is also to transport respiratory gas. Okay, so the circulatory system is related closely to the respiratory system as well. Okay, and then transport metabolic waste from each cell to organs that excrete them. Okay, which this one involve the relation between the circulatory system and also the excretory system. Okay, such as the one that we have looked at the beginning of the semester, that relates to the production of urine, okay, by the kidney, for example, excretory system. And then transport hormones. Okay, so this relates the endocrine system with the circulatory system. So the endocrine gland will produce and secrete hormone that will travel in your blood circulation to reach the target organs, okay, the target cells that has the receptor for the hormones. Okay, and then last, help maintain fluid balance. So this one is related to the homeostasis. Okay, so homeostasis will make sure, for example, the pH of the blood is maintained, okay, at 7.4, for example. Okay, and also to make sure the body temperature is maintained at the right set point. So this is also related to the homeostasis process, or any that helps stabilize the pH. So this one is related to homeostasis. Fluid balance, this one, it involves osmoregulation. Okay, osmoregulation that relates to the formation of urine, the function of the kidney, okay, to maintain fluid balance in your body. And then lastly, the circulatory system is also related to the immune system. So the immune system in your blood, it has white blood cells. Okay, it has antibody, okay, that circulate in your blood, that function to protect your body against foreign organism, okay, pathogen that enters into your body. Okay, so the immune system will involve the white blood cell, the leukocyte, the lymphocytes, the antibodies. Okay, so those are the components that involved in the immune system that circulate in your blood or in your body fluid. Okay, so basically you can see here, you can see the relation between all the system in your body. It is related very much closely to the circulatory system. So circulatory system will involve with the digestive system, okay, to absorb food from the digestive system, digested nutrients, okay, from the digestive system, from the intestine, and then the nutrients will be stored, for example, in the liver, the glucose absorbed in the intestine, okay, in the small intestine, and then stored in the liver, for example. Okay, the glucose stored in the liver as in the form of glycogen, for example. Okay, and then the undigested food will be excreted lah as feces. And then circulatory system is also related to the respiratory system. So from the heart, it pumps the blood to the lung. Okay, so for gaseous exchange, and then the excretory system that involve in the formation of urine, for example, to remove wastes. Okay, and also make sure that your body is maintained at the right pH. Okay, your body fluid is maintained at the right pH. And then the immune system to protect your body from invasion of pathogen. The blood has many white blood cells, antibodies. Okay, the endocrine system produces hormones that circulate in your body, that circulate in your blood, for example, until it reaches the target organs. Okay, that has cells that has receptor for the hormone, for example. Okay. So as you can see, circulatory system is related to every other system in your body. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to look at the component of blood. Okay, so in your blood, it has blood plasma and also blood cells. Blood cell, you have the red blood cells, you have the white blood cells, and then you have the platelets. Okay, the plasma, most of it contains water, and then you have other elements such as ions, okay, such as ions and proteins. Okay, so blood composition and function. So vertebrate blood is a connective tissue. Okay, it is a connective tissue consisting of cells suspended in plasma. So the plasma function as a liquid matrix. Okay, so if you get a sample of blood, okay, and then you centrifuge the blood sample, you will find that the blood sample will be separated into two layers. Okay, into two layers. So the upper layer, okay, it is the plasma component of blood. Okay, 55% is plasma atas ni. Okay, plasma, 55% of your blood is plasma, and 90% of the plasma is water. Okay, and then 45% of the blood is cellular elements, which is the cells, and also cell fragments. So cells are the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and then you have the cell fragments such as the platelets. Okay, so these are the component of the blood. Okay, so the upper part is the blood plasma. Okay, so the blood plasma will be at the top because it is less dense. When you centrifuge a sample, it will separate the sample into its density. Okay, the component that is less dense will be at the top. The denser component will be at the bottom. So that's why you centrifuge your sample to separate your sample into different densities. Okay, so the lighter one will be at the top, the denser one will be at the bottom. Okay, so plasma, 55% of your blood is blood plasma. So most of it is water. Okay, the water function as solvent. If I am not mistaken, it is 90%. You can go up and refer. Okay, and then the rest of your blood plasma, it contains ions. Okay, so the ions will function as electrolytes. Okay, so such as sodium, potassium. The chapter that we have looked at in the previous chapter, we looked at the function of sodium and potassium, such as it involves in the generation of action potential. Okay, and then you have calcium, and then you have magnesium chloride, bicarbonate. Okay, so the function of these ion, it function as osmotic balance to make sure that your blood pH maintain at the normal set point, which is 7.4. Okay, pH buffering and regulation and of membrane permeability. Next, you have the plasma protein. So the plasma protein contains albumin. The function of the albumin is to involve in osmotic balance and also pH buffering. And then you have the antibodies or immunoglobulin ataupun IG. Okay, IG bukan Instagram tapi immunoglobulin, function in defense. And then apolipoprotein to transport lipid. Okay, apolipoprotein is to transport lipid. And then fibrinogen involved in blood clotting. Okay, so other substances that are transported by the blood, you have the nutrients. So nutrients are also found in the plasma portion. Okay, plasma portion of the blood. So the nutrients may contain glucose, fatty acid, vitamins. It also contains wastes. Okay, from cell metabolism, and then respiratory gases such as oxygen and also carbon dioxide, and also hormones. Okay, so another 45% of your blood is the cellular element, so it will be at the bottom. Okay, so if you observe carefully in this diagram, okay, dia nampak macam 3 layer. Okay, dia nampak macam 3 layer, tapi layer yang kat tengah ni, dia adalah component of cellular element, which consists of the white blood cells. Okay, the white blood cells, the leukocytes, such as, for example, the basophil, lymphocyte, eosinophil, monocyte, and also neutrophil. Okay, it also contains, in that component is the platelets. Okay, the platelets. So the number of white blood cells, okay, per 1 microliter, okay, 1 microliter of blood, it may contain about 5,000 to 10,000 white blood cells. Okay, so that function to protect your body. All right, defense mechanism, defense and also immunity. And then platelets, about 250,000 to 400,000, okay, platelets that involve in blood clotting. And then the bottom one here, the red one, is the red blood cells, okay, the erythrocytes. So for one microliter of blood, it contains about 1 million to 6 million red blood cells. 1 microliter. Okay, 1 microliter. So imagine lah, kan? So transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. So 1 microliter of blood contains 5 to 6 million red blood cells. Imagine 1 red blood cells will carry 4 oxygen molecule. So berapa banyak oxygen molecule is in your body? Okay. Okay, so this one, okay, it is really crucial for you to No. Okay, so you have to know the percentage. Okay, you have to know the components of the plasma and also cellular elements. Okay, so this is a table. Okay, to summarize the component of the blood, sama je macam tadi tu, cuma dia dia detailkan setiap component tu. Okay, such as the plasma portion, 55% of the blood volume, it contains water. So the plasma, most of it is water. Okay, which function as solvent. Okay, dissolve other components, give blood its fluidity. And then you have the albumin, kan, fungsi dia apa? Untuk maintain blood osmotic strength, bind and transport some hormones and fatty acid. Globulin serve as antibody that fight infection, bind and transport some hormones, ions and also other molecules. And then you have the fibrinogen that give rise to fibrin, which promotes blood clotting. Okay, so these are the major proteins that are found in your blood plasma. And then you have ions such as sodium ion, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride, bicarbonate and also hydrogen that maintains your blood pH. Okay, your body fluid pH. Okay, allow neural signaling. Okay, neural activity, sodium, potassium yang kita tengok hari tu, dia involve dalam generation of action potential. Allow muscle contraction such as the calcium. Okay, calcium facilitate enzyme activity. Okay, so these ions can also involve in enzyme activity. Dia bertindak sebagai, kalau kita tengok dulu chapter 4 enzyme kan, semester 1 kan, so in order for enzyme to work, it has to have a cofactor. Okay, so your body, your cells will contain many enzymes that catalyzes many reaction in your body cells. So this enzyme needs a cofactor in order for it to function. Okay. Okay, so next is nutrients. So nutrients such as simple sugar, amino acid, lipids, vitamins and oxygen. Okay, so provide materials for cellular respiration. Then we have wastes. Okay, such as urea, carbon dioxide and also ammonia, which is the byproduct of cellular respiration, cellular metabolism, that are transported in blood to sites of elimination. Okay, elimination. So your blood will get filtered by the kidney, for example. Okay, so it will remove urea in the form of urine, for example. Okay, and then you have hormones, which is signaling molecules that are transported in blood to their target organ. So kita tengok chapter hormones, kita tengok okay dalam you have the pituitary glands. Okay, so the pituitary gland will produce the hormone FSH, for example, kan, follicle stimulating hormone. It is secreted in the pituitary gland, but it travels in your blood until it reaches the target organ that has cell for the receptor for that hormone. Okay, only cells that have receptor for the hormone will respond. And then the cellular elements, which is 45% of the blood, will contain red blood cells, erythrocyte, white blood cells. Okay, and also platelets. Okay. So these are the function. Red blood cells, okay, for 1 microliter, it contains about 5 million red blood cells, which to function to transport respiratory gas, okay, oxygen and also carbon dioxide. And then leukocytes, for 1 microliter, slide sebelah microliter kan, microliter, samalah, millimeter cube. Okay. So the white blood cells, it has several types, which is neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocyte, monocyte. Okay, so these are the function, the detailed function of the white blood cell we are going to look at in the next chapter, the immune system chapter. Okay, and then platelets. Okay, so that involves in blood clotting. All right. Okay, so the cellular elements, the red blood cells, the erythrocyte, it is the most abundant. Okay, abundant blood cells. It is formed in the bone marrow. Main function is to transport oxygen. molecule. Okay, so this is oxygen molecule O2. Okay, so red blood cells circulate in the blood for 3 to 4 months. So this is the lifespan of red blood cell before they get worn out. Okay, so worn out red blood cells are broken in the liver, where enzyme digests the amino acids to make other proteins. Okay, the amino acid, why? Because in the red blood cell it has many pigment, which is the hemoglobin. Okay, so the hemoglobin is made up of amino acids. Okay, so and then in the hemoglobin it also composed of iron. Okay, so iron or ferrum, okay, is to bind to the oxygen molecule. Okay, so in the red blood cell is a cell. Inside the red blood cell it has many pigments, which is the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin made up of protein and also iron. Okay, iron is to bind to the oxygen molecule carried by the hemoglobin in the red blood cell. Okay, so the iron is returned to the bone marrow to make more red blood cell. Okay, so the structure of red blood cells, it is small biconcave disc shape. Okay, so kalau kita tengok kat slide hari tu, dia macam bentuk donat kan. So thicker at the edge and thinner in the middle. Okay, biconcave, thinner in the center, then at the edges. So this increases the surface area to enhance the rate of diffusion of oxygen across the plasma membrane. Okay, to increase surface area to allow for the diffusion of respiratory gas. And then mature mammalian erythrocyte will not have any nucleus. Like, it mean it does not have any. Okay, lacking, tak ada. Okay, does not have. Like nuclei, so diff will leave more space for hemoglobin. Okay, so that is the advantage of not having nucleus, so that you can squeeze more hemoglobin in the red blood cell. So an erythrocyte will contain about 250 million hemoglobin. Okay, 250 million. So imagine this one red blood cells will contain about 250 million hemoglobin molecules, and one hemoglobin molecule will bind up to 4 oxygen molecule. Imagine, okay, how many how many oxygen molecule can one red blood cells carry? Okay, dalam satu microliter tadi ada 5 juta kan, 5 juta red blood cells. So imagine dalam satu microliter darah tu berapa banyak pula oksigen. Okay, so that is the advantage of not having nucleus. Okay, so that you can squeeze more hemoglobin in the red blood cell so that it can carry more oxygen molecule. So and it also lack mitochondria. Okay, so does not have any mitochondria and generate ATP by anaerobic metabolism. So oxygen transport will be less efficient if erythrocyte were aerobic, because they would consume oxygen that they carry. So that's why red blood cell does not have any mitochondria. Okay, so in order, what is the function of mitochondria? To carry out cellular respiration, to give energy, okay, to generate ATP. So if red blood cell have mitochondria, so the oxygen that the red blood cell carries will be used by the mitochondria. So that's why red blood cell does not have any mitochondria, so that the red blood cell can carry more oxygen. Okay, the red blood cell does not need to use the oxygen that it carries to produce ATP. Okay, so this is a cross section of red blood cell. So in the red blood cell, it has many hemoglobin. Bukan satu hemoglobin, satu red blood cell ya. One red blood cell, it contains many hemoglobin, 250 million hemoglobin. So this is the structure of hemoglobin. So it has 4 subunit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kita dulu dah belajar structure protein kan. So this is what level of protein? Quaternary kan. So quaternary. So thank you So quaternary. So because it consists of a combination of polypeptide chain that is in the globular shape. Again, so you combine together to form a quaternary structure. Kalau satu ni dalam keadaan tertiary structure, where the polypeptide chain folds into a specific structure. Okay, so this one, the hemoglobin, it is grouped as globular protein. Okay, globular protein. When a protein is grouped under globular protein, so this type of protein, it can dissolve. Okay, it can dissolve in a solvent. Okay, so that so it can dissolve in your blood lah, so that it can be carried along your blood circulation. So each of these subunit of the hemoglobin, it has the hem group. Okay, at the middle of the hem group, it has the iron. Okay, the ferrum, the iron. So the function of the iron is to bind to the oxygen molecule. So if you can see here, the hemoglobin, it has 2 alpha chain, okay, and also 2 beta chain. Okay, so ini cara dia eja hem. Ada juga kalau baca yang lain, HAEM. Kita terima dua-dua lah, mau mana. Okay, so the next one is the cellular. The next component is the of the cellular elements is the white blood cell. Okay. Okay. So white blood cells or the leukocytes. Okay, white blood cells or the leukocytes. They are synthesized also in the bone marrow. White blood cells tadi synthesized dalam bone marrow. White blood cells is also synthesized in the bone marrow. So for 1 microliter of blood, it contains about 5 to 10,000 of white blood cells, 5 to 10,000 of leukocytes. Okay. So their number increases temporarily when the body is fighting an infection. For example, if you are sick or having a fever, so the number of white blood cell will increase. Usually the number of yang paling abundant adalah the neutrophil. Okay, the neutrophil is the most abundant of the white blood cell. Okay. Kalau sebelum kita online ni, ada eksperimen where you have to prepare your own blood smear. Itu eksperimen kan dia ada bagi prepared slide of blood smear where you have to observe the red blood cells, the white blood cells kan. Itu yang dah prepared. Tapi kalau kita masuk lab yang sebenarnya, you have to prepare your own blood smear. You have to prick your fingers, okay, your finger, and place a drop of blood onto the slide and then prepare to observe your blood smear. So if the person that gives the sample of blood, okay, if the person is sick or she is ill, kan, so bilangan neutrophil dia selalunya lagi banyak. Macam tu kat situ, okay. So berbanding kalau individu tu sihat. Okay, so next, they circulate in the circulatory system, in the blood, and also interstitial fluid and also lymphatic system. Basically, your body fluid, okay, consists of blood, okay, blood tu termasuklah yang cellular element, plasma semua tu, the fluid surrounding your body cells, okay, and also the lymph in the lymphatic system. So that is your body fluid, okay, blood, interstitial fluid, and also lymph in the lymphatic system. So they are larger than the erythrocyte and have nuclei. Okay, so that's the difference between white blood cells and red blood cells. White blood cell, they have nucleus. Okay, to differentiate one blood cells to another blood cell, you look at the shape of the nucleus and also the presence of granules inside the white blood cells. Okay, so you can find the white blood cells in the blood, in the interstitial fluid surrounding your body cells, okay, and also the in the lymphatic system. Okay, so the leukocytes are part of the immune system. So their function is to fight infection. Okay, so monocytes. Okay, so monocyte is one type of white blood cell. So the monocyte will transform into macrophage and engulf bacteria and cellular debris. Okay, so the detailed function of the white blood cell we are going to look at in the next chapter, in the chapter immune system. Okay, so the lymphocyte produced the lymphocyte produce immune responses against foreign substance in the body, such as against pathogen, okay, or even allergens, okay, allergens, molecules that enter into your body that cause allergic reaction. Okay, so immune responses. So the lymphocyte, okay, we have the B cell, B lymphocyte, and you have the T cell, T lymphocyte. The B cell is the lymphocyte that produces antibody. Okay, so it attacks pathogen, okay, pathogen that are found in your body fluid. Okay, in your body fluid, tadilah blood, interstitial fluid, limbs. Okay, tapi kalau T cell, such as for example cytotoxic T cell, it destroys your body cell that has the virus in it. Macam tu. Okay, so that the detailed mechanism we are going to look at in the next chapter. Okay, so this is a sample of maybe a blood smear. Okay, so in this sample of blood smear, you can observe the presence of platelets and the different types of white blood cells. Okay, so you can differentiate or group the white blood cells as agranulocyte or granulocyte. Okay, agranulocyte is the white blood cells that have granules. Nampak ni bintik-bintik ni, granules. Okay, granules. So granules. So these are the white blood cells that are grouped as granulocyte. Okay, the neutrophil, the basophil, the eosinophil. Okay, so those are the white blood cells that have granules. You can also group the white blood cells for the white blood cell that have no granules. Okay, that is agranulocyte. So agranulocyte such as monocyte and also a lymphocyte. Okay, lymphocyte yang tadilah B cell and also T cell. Monocyte will mature to become macrophage. Okay, macrophage. So the macrophage will when it encounters a pathogen, it will engulf the pathogen and destroy the pathogen. Okay. Okay, so platelets. So platelets are pinch of cytoplasmic fragments of specialized bone marrow cells. So the lifespan is about 10 days. It has no nucleus and it involved in blood clotting. Okay. So next, okay. So okay, tak apalah. Sepatutnya dia ada fungsi sel-sel yang lain, tapi maybe dia letak dekat chapter immune system. So that one we are going to look at in the next chapter. Okay, so next we are going to look at open and closed circulatory system. Okay, so we are going to look at circulatory system in different animals. Okay, how animal exchange materials. Okay, so we can group animals based on their body structure, body plans. Okay, so for animals that have simple body plan, obviously they will not have any heart, they will not have any blood vessels. Okay, so for this one they have no circulatory system, simple body plan such as amoeba, unicellular organism. Okay, so this one is unicellular organism such as amoeba, paramecium. Okay, and then this another type of organism, they they don't have any circulatory system, but they have a gastrovascular cavity. Kalau untuk unicellular organism, they don't have any gastrovascular cavity, tapi the exchange of materials is only through diffusion, okay, through diffusion across the plasma membrane. Tapi kalau untuk organism yang it still have a simple body plan, but does not have any heart or blood vessels, such as Hydra, okay, so in order to involve in exchange of materials, they have a gastrovascular cavity, okay, gastrovascular cavity. So nanti kita akan tengok sekejap lagi what is gastrovascular cavity. For organism that has complex body plans, such as animals, mammals, or birds, or even human, so we have circulatory system, a circulatory system. So this circulatory system can be open circulatory system or closed circulatory system. Okay, so for open circulatory system and closed, still it involve the heart, okay, the heart and also blood vessels. But for open, as you can see here, the heart, okay, will pump blood into blood vessels that has open ends, okay, that has open end. So the blood vessels are not connected continuously. So as the heart pumps the blood through the blood vessels, the blood will enter into the interstitial fluid. So the blood will get mixed with the interstitial fluid. Okay, but for closed circulatory system, the heart will pump the blood into closed circulatory system continuously, and there will be no mixture between blood and also interstitial fluid. Okay. Okay, so we are going to look at first for the gastrovascular cavity. So gastrovascular cavity. Cavity, space lah, ruang kan. Okay, so a central cavity with a single opening. Okay, a single opening in the body of certain animals that function in both digestion and also distribution of nutrients. Okay, so in certain invertebrates such as cnidarians, such as Hydra and also jellyfish. So Hydra and jellyfish are example of organism that has gastrovascular cavity. It has a single opening. So that is kat situlah dia bertindak sebagai mulut dia untuk masukkan makanan. Okay, so the food will enter into the vascular cavity. So there will be contraction of muscle, okay, contraction of muscle that will digest the food and help to distribute the nutrients to be distributed to all body cell. And then kat situ juga akan berlaku process exchange of materials. The nutrients will be absorbed by the body cell, and the waste, okay, and the waste will come out through the same opening. Okay, so kat situlah makanan masuk, kat situlah waste keluar. Okay, so these are the tentacles lah, tentacles of the Hydra to catch the prey. Okay, so circulation in Hydra is aided by the contraction of muscle of the body wall, and this help distribute, okay, the nutrients to all body part. So for this organism, it has, if you see closely, boleh besar kan tak? Tak boleh besar. Okay. Can you excuse me sekejap? Aisyah, are you there? Aisyah, awak ada ke? Can you switch on your mic and also your camera, please? Ada awak dengan saya je, tak pakai tudung tak apa. Kalau boleh pakai tudung lah. Okay. Tak ada bilik tak ada kat dalam bilik. Are you in the same room as your mom? Tahu dalam bilik yang sama ke? Boleh tak cari satu tempat yang boleh bercakap dengan saya? Tak boleh cari satu tempat ke?